Hey everybody, thank you for paying attention and following along. We are going to be doing some great quick updates with Scott Willis, our future mayor. And as you know, I'm super excited about the first of the year. We've got a new council, a new mayor, tons of new planning and ideas, new momentum. We've got a development community that's excited to be a part of it. So enjoy this. Make sure you figure out ways to get involved or at least engage. Our new mayor, Scott, is willing and ready to talk to people and spread the word. His transparency is awesome and his excitement is great. So please follow along, check this out, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, Scott Willis, thanks for being back on the podcast again.
Thanks, Carl. Always appreciate the invite.
So I think it'll be neat because obviously you've got a head start going here and you're already running. And I think it'll be cool to kind of just stay updated on what's going on and just keep the community informed on how they can be involved and just what you've got on your agenda now. So is that all right with you?
Man, that's great. I really appreciate it. We've been sprinting now for about 4 months. And like today, I've got a half an hour of dead time on my calendar until about 9 o'clock tonight. So it's just been frantic pace. We're having a blast. And I want definitely get the community caught up on what we've been doing.
Are you full time uh, mayor elect right now?
Not getting paid, but yes, I am. I'm pretty much. I mean, the mayor, our current mayor, is obviously handling day to day operations of the city. But anything that's future thinking or
Hmm.
strategic in nature, like Grant Park, those types of things, we're running with the ball now. That's pretty much my administration.
Hmm.
But I'm respectful that Andy is still the mayor, and everything I'm doing is just a luxury, not a given.
So, what is something? Because I know you haven't been, you're not the mayor, but you've never been the mayor. Is there anything that surprised you about what goes? Just something that's popped up. You're like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Anything that's popped up yet, or caught you off guard, or anything?
Not really. What surprised me is how challenging my schedule has been.
Hmm.
I knew once I took office, the first few months it would be a lot of chaos and people trying to get in front of you to talk about plans that they have or something they want to get
Hmm.
done in the city. I didn't expect it this far out, and I mean it's literally there are nights where I leave the house at 7 a.m. and the only break I get is driving from one office, one meeting to the next.
Hmm.
Sometimes, like this morning, my first three meetings were at First Watch. I'm just rotating people through my booth. It
Uh-huh.
has been nonstop, and I love it. I'm
Yeah.
having a blast. I'm not
Yeah.
complaining, but I'm a little surprised that it's this busy so fast.
Do you feel like I like it because I feel like there's a pent up demand and there's people that are excited for fresh and new. Is that what it is, or
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so. I'm a
yeah.
little nervous to be honest with you. We have so much development that is ready to come to this council in the next 6 months. It's a
Uh-huh.
little scary because like, wow, are
Yeah.
we ready? Because we've pretty much gone to a standstill, and by February March we could be sprinting, full blown
Hmm.
sprinting, and it makes me a little nervous. Is the community ready for that?
Yeah.
Um, and are we going to lose people on the way because it's happening so fast? So we're
Hmm.
trying to find a good balance of, hey, these are really critical projects that we feel we need to get off the ground, and
Hmm.
other ones that we can say, right now is just not a good time for that.
Yeah. Well, at least I would rather have too many than zero again, right?
That's right,
So, and
absolutely.
I feel like the development community will be more understanding that you're just trying to figure things out and get caught up. Then we're not interested. That's a good
Exactly,
response.
and if it's a good project and it fits the vision that I have laid out to the community, going back a year or two ago,
Hmm.
we're taking them now. We're not going to wait. But if it's something we're not super excited about, we are asking to hey, bring that back at a later date.
Hmm.
Quite frankly, this council coming in with all seven of them being brand new, none of them have experience. I guess
Yeah.
Victor McCarty has 2 months of experience, but
Yeah.
it's more for them and getting their legs under them because they play a very critical role
Hmm.
in zoning and architectural standards and any kind of
Hmm.
development that happens that We don't want to overwhelm them, and then things start to slip through the cracks, and you look back later and say that was a mistake. So
So two things I think we should talk about that will be exciting. These aren't real long podcasts, but a couple of things. That was not me saying keep it short, Scott. That, um, there's a couple of things that you've been worked on, and at one of your town hall meetings, you announced your design for some ideas for downtown, and then also you talked about redoing or updating the comprehensive plan. So I think those two things, if you could talk about those a little bit, be cool.
yeah, so the comprehensive plan, we're going to kick that off first quarter of next year. I am trying to put together a small committee that's going to work with the staff to kind of guide this plan, this vision. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to take a year, year and a half for it to play itself out. What I'm not going to do, I know when Mayor Cook took office as the first mayor and put in place the very first comprehensive plan, there was upwards of 50 to 100 people that participated. We're not
Mm-hmm.
going to do that. We're not talking
Yeah.
a wholesale revisiting of our plan to begin with. And I think it just slows things down. And I feel like with the pressure we have right now on development, I want to make sure it fits into our long term vision for our city. And we can't afford to take 3 or 4 years to get this in place. So
Yeah.
I am looking for volunteers. We've got a few people that have already asked to serve in this. If you're listening to this podcast and you're interested, reach out to me through Facebook, through my city council contact information. Would be happy to talk to anybody who has a passion for doing this. So it'll be a little bit of heavy lifting. So you're going to need to have some time available to do this, but something we're really excited about getting off the ground here when we take office. The
What
second
is
thing
that?
is,
What is that? Real quick. What is that time that they spend on it? What are they doing? If let's say they raise their hand and you say, "Yeah, you're on the board." What are they doing? Really?
so though we're gonna contract out a large portion of the comprehensive plan. We're gonna
Okay.
do some pockets of redesign within our city that the community development's going to take on themselves. But the wholesale revisit of the comprehensive plan will be contracted out. And we're looking at a firm that actually did Dublin, Ohio. If you've ever been to Dublin, it's a fantastic city. It's a
Mm-hmm.
suburb of Columbus. It remind people of Westfield in a lot of ways, but they're just much further along. And so we're probably going to end up bringing them on board to take the lead. But this committee will be brought in for sounding board, for strategy sessions, for giving recommendations to this consultant that's going to be leading the charge.
Okay.
And a lot of things we're going to be doing is, identifying where do we put commercial development moving forward? What do
Mm-hmm.
we do with State Road 38, going west towards Sheridan? What do we do with undeveloped areas of the township that fall into Westfield, Washington
Mm-hmm.
zoning rights? There's things like that we really need to revisit. US 31 is another great example. I mean, right now the plan is it's a Carmel Light in terms of vertical office structures. I think
Mm-hmm.
that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
I don't think that's coming back anytime soon. So we need to revisit what we're doing there. So there's a lot of important corridors that this group will play
Mm-hmm.
um, a very
That's a lot of
visible
work.
role. Yeah, it will be.
All right. So then your other thing downtown.
Yeah, downtown. So we rolled out. We've been working on that feverishly since the primary election. As I mentioned on the campaign trail, we were a big chunk of that was already done, and so we just basically took it to the finish line, working with MKSK, which is an urban planner. We rolled that vision out in my town hall in November, and I'll be spending the first quarter of next year, the chamber lunch and sharing the vision there.
Mm-hmm.
Rotary's asked me to come and speak. So if you're part of a group, a non-for-profit, a service organization, and you want me to come and speak and share this, I'd be happy to. I want to get this out to as many people as we can. We're still, soliciting recommendations, although the plan is pretty much set. We still want to hear from people along the way. So if you're listening and you want me to come speak to a group, your neighborhood, what have you, I am happy to go anywhere to make sure that the community is well informed of what's happening, because
Mm-hmm.
it's getting ready to explode on that southwest corner of our downtown area, which is Park Street restaurants, Grand Junction. That area, I'm just telling you right now, I think almost every bit of land We have developers who are looking at projects, working with my team to make sure it
Mhm.
fits our vision moving forward.
Mhm.
But it's going to be incredibly fast paced. And that's phase one of my plan. It's a 4 phase plan. We may be rolling to phase two in year two of my administration simply because phase one has got so much momentum right now.
Yeah, it's moving already. I think phase one or that quadrant is just dying to happen, and it's going to happen whether you're there or not, kind of thing. It's going to happen.
We just got to
So,
make sure it's done the right way. Yeah, because there's a
mhm.
lot of pressure on that. With Park Street, once you put in parking, which we have a project that's going to come online middle part of next year. Once that starts kicking off, you're going to start seeing all the restaurants and shops filling in on Park Street and that whole block. They've just been waiting for parking, and
Yeah.
once we start providing that, we show that that is coming, a commitment to that. A lot of things are just going to start happening.
Hmm.
So.
What do you How do you? One thing I get asked a lot about, Scott, is the library downtown, or the
Mhm.
library, the new library, and obviously it's cool. How do you see that playing into our downtown and being a part of just the community, the lifestyle of Westfield?
I think when you look at even Carmel, a lot of vibrant communities that are creating a walkability about their downtown area. The library is a critical piece of that, and it will be for us as well. Once that whole downtown area fills in, especially phase one in that southwest corridor, that library is going to be the centerpiece of what happens in the community.
Hmm.
There's going to be shared workspace. There's going to be a coffee shop in there. There's going to be meeting rooms, and there's even going to be an upstairs area where you can host events. It's going to become an integral part of what's happening in our downtown area,
Hmm.
and it'll also provide kind of a nice to have additional parking, especially on the
Yeah,
weekends and the evenings for Park Street and some of the things we're trying to do there. So it's
yeah.
really important that that is part of our downtown area.
Do you see the Grand Millennium project gaining a little more steam or activity after the first of the year? Is that part of what you say has some momentum?
We've been talking to a developer for the southern half of Grand Millennium.
Hmm.
We're not there yet. The design's not right.
Yeah.
They're asking for public investment in terms of dollars, TIF dollars, to support parking, and
Hmm.
we just don't have the right kind of uh, occupants or design of that space that I'd like to see. There's
Hmm.
not enough density or use of the land to get the right return on assessed values. So some things we're trying to work through with them. But yeah, they're close,
Yeah.
probably 70% of the way there.
Okay.
The very first project you're going to see is going to happen right behind your restaurant, Kurt, back there where Essler's is at,
Yeah.
and the sporting goods store is at. Dan Moyer has consolidated all that land. He's partnering with Old Town, and it's going to be a mixed use development with parking in the interior part of the building. It's going to
Hmm.
engulf the development's going to engulf the parking, so you won't see it, and that's going to put immediate parking right behind all the restaurants, and
Yeah.
that's going to cause a series of explosions in other areas.
I mean, just the visual change that's going to be, it's going to be so nice.
Oh,
The
so
Midland
nice.
Trail to me is such an underplayed thing in Westfield, and uh, to right downtown finally have our Midland Trail represent on both sides with some development will be very cool. I think
And if you've ever
it's
been on the
exciting.
Midland, just not only the Midland that goes behind the restaurants and kind of dead ends at the library, but it
Hmm.
curls around and heads to the south behind the Union Street Flats apartments. It's
Hmm.
a beautiful segment of our trail that you're right,
Yeah.
nobody knows about. Very
Uh-huh.
few people. I'm a runner, so I ran through there many times. And we're just going to activate that whole area with that development. It's going to be a
That'll
game
be
changer.
cool. Yeah. My parents come here from Florida, and my mom always can't wait to be on the Midland Trail. So I think it's cool. I think it's as nice as the Monon Trail. It's just undeveloped. So
I
give us
agree.
time. All right. So where upcoming? You got a month left. Holding pattern, kind of. I know you're working, but how can people on January 1 pay attention and be involved to what's going on?
Well, they can follow my Facebook page, Willis for Westfield. We're going to continue to be very active in over communicating what's going on. I am talking with a couple of companies right now that do newsletters. I'd like to put in a quarterly newsletter that's mailed to every mailbox in Westfield. Carmel
Cool.
currently does that.
Yeah.
It costs a little bit of money to get that done, but I think it's just important. that we are communicating what's happening in the community, and not everybody gets it from Facebook and Instagram or Twitter, but we will be very active on social media. We're going to look to a newsletter to communicate. I'll continue to do my town halls on a quarterly basis. I promise you, if you just pay attention, communication will be overkill, because I just think it's critical, especially as we go through this phase of revitalization of our city.
Council meetings, should people be paying attention to the city council meetings?
That's a great point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, they'll be meeting twice a month starting in January. They're going to be long meetings. We already have probably a 3-hour agenda for our first meeting in January. They're going to be incredibly busy. But whether you go live, and you may or may not want to do that, or just wait till the next day and pull it up on our city YouTube page and watch it and speed through the clips you don't care about. But there's a lot of things going to be happening, and people really need to pay attention. Or you're going to just drive through and see all this stuff and wonder what's going on. I'm totally confused.
But it's all out there being talked about. It's nothing. Nothing gets dropped in anybody's lap. It's been talked about for years. So one thing, Scott, as the future mayor, I have a special request.
No, don't even ask. No.
This is another request. As a deaf guy, the audio at our city council meetings is horrendous. Can we work on that?
Yeah, we're going to look at that. We're also going to look at if you're hearing impaired and can't hear, you get blocked from coming to our meetings, because we don't support people with disabilities. So we're looking at potentially adding sign language to our meetings as well moving forward. But yeah, we're looking at all that, and we know we've got a ways to go from a technology standpoint.
I do feel like as the mayor, you get a better position in the camera view. You're a little further away, and so you're less distracting to the viewer. But
I just want to get out of the camera view. Everybody tells me that it looks like when you lean back in your chair at city council, it looks like you're laying down. I swear I've never slept at a city council meeting or laid down. I just got to get out of the view of that camera. I'll be better. Everybody will be better off not seeing my face. So
don't worry, we have 7 new counselors that are going to do really weird things on camera to make fun of.
Right.
So you'll be the veteran on camera. Well, thank you very much for doing this. We'll keep doing it. We'll share it, and I love your transparency and how you're willing to talk to people. So I'm really, I know you know this, I'm super excited, and a lot of people are excited. So kind of go get them time, isn't it?
It is, but I'm getting ready to take the month of December off. I've got a few meetings I'm going to go to, but I'm totally shutting down to recharge the batteries so that I can hit the ground running January 1st. So I may go quiet in December, and everybody's probably going to be better off for that anyway. Everybody have a wonderful holiday season, and there's going to be a lot of good festivities going on in Westville. Take advantage of it.
Well, enjoy your break. You deserve it, and we'll look forward to doing this again after the first of the year.
Thanks, Kirk. Hey, have a great one.
Straight up, getting sideways. We back in the speakers, back in black, getting blasted in the bleachers. It's probably true what my mama said. I do it just like my daddy did. We back in the saddle.